Hi everyone, welcome back to the FAR classes of US CPA. Yes, financial accounting and reporting classes for the US CPA. In this particular video, we'll be discussing in detail about US GAAP, like the overview of US GAAP, how the overall US GAAP has been developed over the period of time, from where you can extract all the respective US GAAP. I'll be walking you through in detail, and what are the governing body who developed the US GAAP. So those all things we'll be covering in this particular video in detail. So let's dive into to understand more in detail. Now we are jumping into the second topic of the day, which is like overview of US GAAP. What is US GAAP?
Generally accepted accounting principles
in the United States of America, right? So now first let's understand how GAAP has been formed and who formed the GAAP, right? And what are the governing bodies? Do you know, like in US, the body is called Congress. It's not like how in India we have Congress. So Congress is called, you can say how in India we have Parliament. Like same way in US, it is called Congress who passed the legislation. So Congress has passed the legislation called SEC, Security Exchange Commission, and form a committee that is called Security Exchange Commission. So Congress, which is like the Parliament of the United States of America, they have formed a committee called SEC, Security Exchange Commission, right? That Security Exchange Commission in turn develop and form certain acts, which is Federal Security Act 1933. We'll be discussing more in detail about that also. And second act they have passed is Security Exchange Act 1934. And then in 2002, they come up with the SOX Act, which is being further amended in 2013, right? And then they have also formed a committee, or you can say an NGO called AICPA. What is AICPA?
American Institute of Certified
Professional Accountants.
Right. So this American Institute of Certified Public Accountant is being an independent body, that is an NGO, right? And they follows all the regulations and they ensure the companies are following these regulations, right? So these are, you can say, monitoring body, or you can say independent NGO, which has been created under the law of the government, right? So first one, if you see the Federal Security Act 1933, Federal Security Act 1933 is being formed to register the company for the listing purpose, right? So first time IPO, if any company wants to go, they need to follow rules and regulation of Security Act 1933, right? And then after, once the security are been listed, and now it is started trading on any stock exchange, whether it's New York Stock Exchange or any other stock exchange, right? The company need to follow the rules and regulation of Security Exchange Act 1934. So first time when you go for IPO, you need to follow and submit the details to the SEC in line with the Federal Security Act. And then after, for the regular, if your stocks are regularly trading, then you need to follow the rules and regulation required in the Security Exchange Act 1934, right? And then in 2002, they come up with the SOX Act. Why they come up with the SOX Act? Because there are so many financial scams and frauds were happening, which were impacting the general public. Because in the when your stocks are being traded in any stock exchange, then general public will be investing. So public money is being involved and public trust is being involved because of a lot of financial scam like Enron and you can say Lehman Brothers, all those scams you might have heard about it, right? So because to consider the financial stability in the organization and to reduce the financial scams in the organization which are being listed with the security exchange, they come up with the SOX Act 2002, which is now recently been amended in 2013, right? This is a brief background about, like, structural or from the government body side. Now coming to more detail about AICPA. What is AICPA and what all functions of the AICPA? So AICPA has been 4 department or 4 vertical internally. First one is authoritative body. Second one is the body who take care of code of conduct, that is called AICPA professional code of conduct. Then third vertical, they have committees and boards, and the fourth vertical, they have monitoring and enforcement committee. So let's understand one by one how AICPA work and what all verticals they have and what is the function of those respective vertical. The first one is authoritative bodies. Authoritative bodies have Financial Accounting Standard Board, which issue GAAP, right? We'll be discussing more in detail about this also, but high level, just giving you overview. The authoritative body include FASB, which is called Financial Accounting Standard Board, that issue US GAAP. Then second body they have is Government Accounting Standard Board called GASB. They issue GAAP for the government entities. They issue accounting standard for the government bodies or government entities. And third body they have is IASB, International Accounting Standard Board, which coordinate and correlate with the International Accounting Standard Board at a global level, which issue IFRS. So now if you see from the very long time, maybe almost 5, 6, 7 years, most of the new US GAAP which is coming are very much aligned with the IFRS. That is because of the new committee of IASB they formed internally in the AICPA, which coordinate for the IFRS with the International Accounting Standard Board. Right? If you see, like recently, they have issued ASC 606 for the revenue recognition, which is very much aligned with the IFRS 15. Then after they issued ASC 842 for the leasing standard, which is very much aligned with the IFRS 16 of the leasing standard. Same way, now recently, like almost 2 years back, they have issued ASC 326, that is credit loss method, which is also very much aligned with the IFRS. So now, if you see, most of the new accounting standard or amendment in the existing accounting standard, they are trying to make it very much aligned with the IFRS, so that the financial statement of the US company are being very much comparable to rest of the part of the world. Right? So these are like the rules and responsibility of the authoritative body in a AICPA. Right? Second vertical they have is code of conduct, which is AICPA professional code of conduct. So this vertical issue the guidance and rules to the auditor as well as to the companies. So they issue rules and regulation for the members, for the CPA basically, how they need to apply professional skepticism, how they need to apply code of conduct while they are working. Either they are working in job or they are working as a practice or they are educator like me. Right? So code of conduct vertical of the AICPA issue rules, regulation and guidance for the members. Second, they issue principle and professional conduct and code of ethics as well for the members. So members are of 3 categories: members who are in job, members who are in practice, or members who are educator like us. They issue the rules and regulation for all category of members, how they need to conduct or ensure the behavior when they are dealing professionally, right? Next committee or next vertical they have is committees and boards. So in that committees and boards, there are different committees like auditing standard board who issue GAS is generally accepted auditing standard. GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles, right? So there is separate committee to issue GAS and separate authoritative body which issue GAAP. So don't get confused between these two, right? Next one is ARSC, which is what? ARSC, any idea? Accounting and Review Standard Committee. ARSC means Accounting and Review Standard Committee. They issue SARs. SARs are basically Statement of Standard for Audit, Accounting and Review Statements. Right? These are the standards for the review and accounting engagement performed by the auditor. Next is Attestation Standard Board. They issue SSA, that is Statement of Standard on Attestation Engagements. So they issue the Statement of Attestation Engagement for the attestation engagement, how as a CPA we need to work for the attestation engagement. Then next we have Management Consulting Service Executive Committee, which issue the standard if as a CPA we are providing management consulting service, what all standard we need to follow. Same way they have Tax Executive Committee. If as a CPA we are providing tax service, tax consulting service, what all rules and regulation we need to follow. So there are a couple of committees who issue respective standards for the respective professional programs. Make sense? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the last one is monitoring and enforcement. So monitoring and enforcement compliance with the professional, technical and ethics standard. For that they have quality assurance team, right? So these are basically 4 vertical in which AICPA work. Make sense? Now coming to the FASB, this AICPA authoritative body we have seen that has formed FASB. FASB, what they do? Issue GAAP, right? But now let's understand who are the members of FASB. Members of the FASB consist 7 full-time members, and then they can have unlimited part-time members, or you can say professional. So 7 full-time members should be from auditing professional, right? Profit-oriented companies, that is from businesses, accounting educator like us, financial analyst, and the government body. So the 7 members which are being permanent member, or you can say full-time member of FASB, should be coming from accounting professional bodies like Big 4 company generally, right? Profit-oriented company like top MNCs, right? Accounting educators like us, financial analysts who do analysis of the financial statement. Have you heard about like company called Moody's, S&P, CRISIL?
Yes, sir.
Right? So those are the company who do financial analyst, right? And the government. So these there should be representative, which is 7 full-time member in the FASB should be from these representative committees, right? And then SEC will do oversee of the FASB work, right? Now coming to the next topic, how ASCs are being developed. What is ASCs? Accounting standard codification. So in India, what we call INDAS? Yes, no? Are you guys with me?
Yes. In India, it's accounting standard.
Accounting standard. In US, it is called ASC,
ASC.
Accounting Standard Codification. How is accounting standard codification actually done? So first of all, to the FASB, they issue or add a project to the agenda in the FASB meeting that this is the new accounting standard they wants to implement or they wants to amend, right? Then that agenda will go to the public meeting, that go issue to the public notice, and then they invite public to share their thought whether we should go ahead with this new amendment or new accounting standard codification or not. Once they receive like public confirmation, then they draft called exposure draft, make an exposure draft of the accounting standard, how that accounting standard codification will look like, and what will be the change from the existing standard, or if it is altogether a new standard, then what would be the complete framework of that standard. That is called exposure draft. That exposure draft will go to the public for their inputs, right? That goes to public accounting firm, that goes to industry, that goes to government department, and that is also being available to the educator and general public to respond, right? And then they receive comment letter on the exposure draft from the public at large, which is from government, from businesses, from public accounting firm, from educator, or from the general public at large. So they generally keep 2 to 3 months or sometimes 3 to 6 months also open for the public response to the exposure draft. So once they receive all the response from the public at large, then they do a public meeting for discussion based on the input they have received from the public at large. They call it for the meeting for the discussion of exposure draft and the input they have received from the public at large. So once those discussion are being done, so then accounting standard will start taking the shape, which is in consens with the public accounting firm, businesses, government, educator, and public at large, right? And then it is called accounting standard update. That accounting standard update goes to the FASB and to the SEC finally for the codification, and it will be considered as a GAAP. So that is the process. So first it add into the agenda, then it go to the public for the consensus, and then based on the public consensus they make an exposure draft. FASB make an exposure draft and give it to the public at large for their inputs. Once they receive all the input in the specific time, they call for the meeting to discuss those inputs and the revision in the exposure draft. And once they get the consensus, they draft an accounting standard update, and that update will go to the FASB and SEC finally for the codification in GAAP. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. So structure of the ASC, how the accounting standards are being structured. So these are being structured in these categories: general principle, presentation, assets, liability, equity, revenue, expense, broader transaction, and industry specific. So you'll see the ASC is always of 3 digit, starting from 100, ending 999. Right? So first one, 100 to 199, you will see all the accounting standard would be relating to only journal principle, right? And accounting standard codification starting from 200 to 299 will be relating to only presentations, right? And then if you see, the assets are being classified in a range of 300 to 399, liability in a range of 400 to 499, equity 500 to 599, revenue from 600 to 699, expenses from 700 to 799, and then broad transaction, which is like related party transaction, contingency, commitment, those kind of disclosures, right? Those would be comes under the 8002 to 899. For example, like business combination, acquisition, merger, all this would be part of 8002 to 899, right? And then industry specific guidance would be given in 900 to 999. Special guidance for, you can say, software company, oil and gas company, real estate company, all you will see in 900 to 999, right? And then the subtopic would be of 2 digit. And further to the subtopic, there would be sections, and that will also be of 2 digit. So this is like the structuring of the ASC. Now, let's see. Are you guys on laptop or mobile?
Laptop.
Laptop.
Laptop, sir.
Laptop.
So
Laptop.
I'm just giving you this link in the chat box. So just open this link. And parallelly, I'll show you here also. Have you got this link?
Yes, sir.
It's very simple, fasb.org. Just let me know once you reach to this page.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yeah.
So now, first let me walk you through what all things we need to do, and then practically we'll do. So this is like FASB website. There, first we need to click on this standards, and then it will open this tab. In this tab, you need to open accounting standard codification. Then it will take you to this tab where you need to look at basic view. So there are two kind of views. One is basic view and the second one is paid version, right? So you can read any point of time any accounting standard codification free of cost. But if you want to take a downloadable version, that is a paid version, right? And then this slide will open where you need to agree with the license agreement for basic view. And once you submit, you will see like this type of things will open, right? So first, let's go through with me. Click on standard. Then click on accounting standard codification, right? Let me know if you are not able to get there. Got it? So here you need to enter your email ID, or first you need to maybe register for the basic view. So here you like I'm registered. So and here you need to hit I am not a bot. Access to the basic view. Access to the basic view. Then this agreement will open and you need to accept. Are you guys with me?
But sir, first we need to register it. Na? Then we would be able to access
Yes.
this.
Yeah, that will be quick one. You just need to enter your login ID, email ID and password, not much.
So the password is the same as a Gmail ID, right?
Yeah, it's completely your choice.
Actually, I access the basic view and it doesn't require to enter the email ID, and we can just click on forward.
Okay, so just go to the bot side and accept this agreement. So once you accept this agreement, it will open up this. Accept this cookies. Can you see this page on your laptop or mobile?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now if you see this journal principle, presentation, assets, liability, equity, revenue, expense, broad transaction, industry. So these all are 9 heads. If you click on this journal principle, you will see 105. So it is starting from 1002 to 199. So generally accepted accounting principle. If you click on it, it will give you 2-digit. That is called what we call subtopic. Yeah. And then if you click on this overall, it will give you sections. So these are the section of accounting standard codification is 105, subtopic is 10, and the sections are 00, 05, 10, 15, 20, 65, 17, so on and so forth. Right? Same way, if you click on the second one, which is presentation, there you will see 205, 210, 215 and all this accounting standard codification, which are relating to presentation and disclosure. So here, if you see like presentation of financial statement, balance sheet presentation, equity presentation, income statement presentation, statement of cash flow, notes to accounts, or you can say earning per share, interim reporting, limited liability entities, so on and so forth, segment reporting, right? So for example, if you click on this segment reporting 280, so it will give you the subtopic overall, and then shared subtopic, which is like airline industry, entertainment industry, extraction advice, healthcare entity. If you click on this overview, it will show you the sections, related section, right? Same way, if you go to the assets one, and if you click on cash and cash equivalent, it will show you these subtopics, right? So if you click on like, let's say scope and exception to the scope. So it will show you the explanation, the respective accounting standard, codification, section, scope and scope exception. So there you can read. And this is available to each one of us free of cost. If you want to download the accounting standard, then only you need to take the paid version. If you want to just read it for your knowledge, so this all is completely free of cost for each one of us. Make sense? Are you able
Yes,
to
sir.
navigate?
Yes, sir.
Actually,
This
sir,
will be,
first we need to register it. So we are not
Sorry.
able to access all the.
sorry, Kashish.
Sir, I think we need to register it first. Like we have put it password and email ID as well. So it is showing like the password is incorrect. So we have to sign up now, right?
Mhm.
And then the verification code has been sent to our email ID. And then account has been created. Then we will follow all this. thing.
Is it like that, Akash?
Yes, sir. Yes.
No,
I
sir.
think-
We are
Sir.
able to access whatever
Yes.
you showed us. We are
Yeah.
able to access without using that
Without
username.
ID password. Yeah, Kashish, yeah. People are able to see even without login.
Sir, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
One second. Sir.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sir, are you able to see?
Go back to the fasb.org. Just on the top, click fasb.org. FASB.org. .org. Just enter. Or just copy paste that link which I have shared.
No, remove A after B.
So FASB. Yes. Yeah, go to the standard. Yeah, accounting standard codification. On the right hand side, yeah, click on this. No, I am not a bot. Click on I am not a bot. And then, yeah, select this. Keep next. Yeah. Access the basic view. Click on access the basic view.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, go down and just accept it. Right? So
Yes,
now
sir.
you can go ahead and
Thank
see.
you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I can stop presenting. So let me go back and present my screen. Right. So this is all, like you can navigate all accounting standard from here as and when it is needed in practical life. Why I have shown you so that you have idea how this accounting standard codification are being structured, because it will be definitely coming in your exam as a research-based simulation. Right? So you should know like how those accounting standard are being structured. If any questions come from the asset side, then you need to look at 300 series. If any question come from liability side, you need to look at 400 series. If any question come from equity side, you need to look at 500 series. If the question come from revenue side, you need to look at 600 series. So that will help you in reaching out to the respective accounting standard codification while attempting the research-based simulation question in your exam. And those are like open book exam, so very easy to navigate through. And this structuring, if it is in your mind, it will definitely help you to get there. Right? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Cool. Okay.